Do you live in an apartment? Do you have very little space to do anything, to grow anything, but you want to grow some, some basic things like herbs, maybe some strawberries, things of that nature. You want to be able to do those things. Well, watch this video and you will see how you can build this thing right here and it will do exactly that. Howdy folks. So I wanted to show you a great idea for people that maybe they just want to grow herbs, or maybe you have a small area and you don't really have enough area to grow like a garden, a typical garden. And you've maybe already seen these things on Amazon or anywhere you've looked up. They pop up a lot. But what I have here is actually, because I have a 3D printer, I was actually able to utilize my 3D printer, and I was able to create this. So okay, so basically you have your base. So all this stuff is 3D printed with PETG, which is better for moisture and heat. If you have the ability to go ABS, obviously that's going to be better, but PETG, most 3D printers are capable of doing that inside anyway. ABS, you have to have some sort of I don't know, like ventilation or whatnot, because of the fumes that it puts off as it melts the filament and whatever. So basically we have the base, and then after that we have this, which is the one that has the interlocking bit right here. And then we have each one of these things. So the great thing about this setup is that you don't really have to, like right here we have 6. We'll be able to grow 6 plants right here. But if you only wanted to do 3, or maybe you wanted to do 12, I mean, that's going to require some support, but you could continue to stack this up. And as long as you have a water pump down in the basin, which we're going to get to in a minute, then you have the ability to just keep on going as long as you can support it and provide the water to the top. That is the main thing. So but like I said, so basically we have each one of these things, they all interlock, and they fit a 4-inch basket. So now this isn't my design, but what it actually is, they were smaller originally. So I went on to, I don't remember which one it is, but I went on there and they had this print, but it was smaller by like a lot. And I actually enlarged this so that I could, fit the 4 inches. It took a little bit of math, but math isn't that bad. There's something I've always wanted to try. You've seen it all over, and I mean, I don't know, hold on, let me see something here. Let me try it out. Huh. Alright, well, apparently it's not working for us. Alright, well, let's put it together by hand. Okay, so basically what we're going to do here is kind of try to find somewhat center, and this will actually be on the bottom side. Am I right on that? I don't know, it's been a minute since I put this together. So this would go on, oh nope, it's gonna be on top. Okay, well, no, that is not the right one. Hold on, let me grab the right one. This is the right one. Yep, this still goes on top, but that's okay. So basically we're gonna find center-ish, and we're going to want to cut that hole out. So, but you got to keep in mind that the hole we're cutting out, okay, so now we have this little outline, and so we are going to go ahead and cut that out. Okay, so 4-inch hole saw gets you pretty close, but you're still going to have to trim it out some. But like I said, it only gets you close, but that's fine. We can just take a little knife, a little razor blade, and just clean the rest of that up, get all of that cleaned up. So let me grab something to clean that up with. Okay, so don't be worried if you your hole maybe isn't exactly circle, as you can see. I don't know if you've ever tried to make a hole the perfect circle without, say, like maybe getting a 4.5 inch or a 5 inch. I don't know. Yeah, doing it by hand, it's rather challenging, even with a line and a razor blade. I don't know if when you start cutting into plastic, even with the razor blade, sometimes the razor blade just, it wants to go a certain way. But take your time, do it slowly. Razor blades are sharp, and then it just, like I said, it's got all this area right here. So if you got a little spot that comes out here and there, it's okay. Don't worry. And I'll put the print file for this in there because it was free to me, so it should be free to you. And it'll be the enlarged version like this right here, not the smaller version. So but now we have this, so we got little holes we're going to put in here, or you can just put some silicone down because the silicone will hold it in place as well, but we're going to do both just to be sure. And just like that, it is, hold on. And just like that, it is completed. All except for the cap up top, but that's okay because we're not fully done with it. But, you know, it's okay. And oh, that's not what I expected. Okay. All right. Well, do it again. Okay, so what we have here is a 1/2 inch by 5/8. So it's 5/8 outside diameter, 1/2 inch inside diameter, and then that will be going into this here pump. It's a little dirty. That's because it works. I've tested this to make sure beforehand, and so I know that it actually works. So with these right here, you can adjust the flow. So let's say you had this in here and you needed max for going up as high as we're going to go, or maybe you wanted to take a few of them off and you could lower down the flow so that you are compensating for the height that you need, because you don't want too much flow. So let's go ahead, we stick this down here at the bottom. It's starting to get a little misty outside, so I tend to like to put it kind of like over here, so it's got this little space in between right here, because the roots are going to come down. They're going to get in here no matter what. That's just the nature of the roots. And then whenever we run this out, we will probably notch the lid right here so that it will actually sit in there. And then this right here just goes into there like that, and then we're gonna run this up. Don't worry about the pump. Once everything's situated, that thing will actually stay in place. It's just because I'm moving that hose around. But let's go ahead and get the rest of it done. Okay, so as you can see, the line just basically runs all the way up, and then you'll have some sticking out the top up here, and you want to leave a little bit of slack in it, because if there's any chance that you have to take stuff apart, if it's really tight together, it makes things hard. I mean, not too hard because everything kind of just snaps apart, but yeah, I mean, make things easy on yourself. And don't push this thing down just yet, because you're gonna have to pull this thing off and adjust things as you go. So if you snap this thing back down again, you're going to constantly be having to do, you know, pulling it apart again. And these things, they don't come apart that easy. So okay, all right okay, so it's back together again. I thought we were done, but guess not. But now that we are back to this point, so basically we need to attach this line right here, and my experience is that's the exact same size, as you can see, but this right here, this is actually a drain line. You can get so it just basically goes onto there right there, and the other line just steps in. It's basically like a little coupler, and so then this will sit up here, but we're going to cut that line shorter because we don't need it that long. And then we also need to run this through, which this just slides right on through here, and then eventually, yeah, basically, yeah, it's just gonna sit in there where it sits. There's no spot for it to rest. This was just something I created just to kind of like slow the water down, allow it to just kind of rain down and make sure all the roots are getting touched. So But like I said, let's go ahead and put this on, and then we will, yeah, we'll fire her up. Well, we'll put some liquid in here, and then we'll fire her up, and we'll go ahead and get some plants in this thing, and yeah, let's do it. So one other great addition to these is, since you can't really see it, the water as easily, it's these little levels probes basically, and so you drill a hole which is this size right here. It is a 3/4 bit, so you're able to, it's just a touch big, so you actually probably want to put a little taper or something around it to make sure it stays, or even glue, because I mean it doesn't really have to go anywhere. But what this is going to allow is it's going to keep track of the water level, because you have a pump down there and you don't want that pump to burn up. And so this right here, and you can, I'll probably put a little line, you know, to be like, hey, don't let it get below this point, you know, because it's getting really close to the pump. And then other than that, yeah, I mean, we're going to fill this thing from the top, and yeah, I still haven't done this yet, but I'm about to do that right now. So you've got to this point, you have water in it, and you're ready to get this thing going. But one thing you need to know is you're going to need a timer. So you don't want this pump running continuously. That's a good way to destroy the pump, is not designed for that necessarily. So we want to run it for 15 minutes every hour. So basically, when you're looking at one of these things, we're gonna say it's, what time is it? Shoot, I don't even know what time it is. Hold on. So it is 12:40. So we will basically, the darkness and the light, we need to go all the way around to about roughly right there. I mean, it's not exact, let's not get crazy here. And so then for each one of these things, that is 15 minutes. Is it? No, it's 30 minutes per 12. This timer ain't gonna work. Hang on, I got a better timer. So this is the different programmer. So we're gonna set the clock. Oh man. Fun part is remembering how to work this thing. Okay, we're gonna advance this a bit more. So we're actually gonna use this. This is something I was using originally, but we're going to do, we'll go to like a cycle, and then we'll have it on duration of, when I originally tested this thing, I was using one of these things, basically not one of this one, but the same programming, and then off for an hour. So we'll do, oh actually, because you don't want to dry out the roots, that's the thing. And so it'll constantly cycle this. Now I'm gonna put all this under something to protect it from the moisture and whatnot, which is something I'm about to work on right now. But let's go ahead and plug in this pump, and let's kind of give us an idea of what's going on here. Let's see if this thing is okay. So that one didn't have enough lift, which when I was originally testing it, I had less of these stacked on here. So that's one thing, whenever you're looking at this, at the pumps that you're going to get to do this, look at the lift. A lot of them, you know, might go up to like 6.5 feet of lift, whereas this one might have been like 3.5, 4 feet of lift. It's kind of a small little one. I was trying to have something a little smaller, but this has 8 feet of lift. So I'm gonna turn it down a touch, but let's go ahead and get this in. Okay, I turned this one down, but it's still gonna have some lift to it. Let's see, will it kick on right away? There it goes. So we're gonna check it out. So as you see, it rains down on everything as it goes down, and that's why it's also turned down, so that but it looks like it's working fantastic. But this is why it only runs for 15 minutes, because in that 15 minutes able to saturate everything. You don't need an air stone in there because the water going down there is obviously agitating it enough. And then, yeah, you just want to keep track of this when it gets down to, say, for me, it gets down to that second or third little water drop. Then I need to make sure I put water in it. And like I said, we'll be filling it in from up here. But yeah, so that's cool. And it's all controlled through this app right here. So this is actually the AC Infinity stuff. And it just works fantastic. But let's shut this off now that we know this is working. I'm going to waterproof that, make sure that's contained and good to go. And then, yeah, we're going to go ahead and start adding some plants. Okay, so what we have here is, these are a 4-inch basket. They fit perfectly into there. But we also have these right here. Yep. And these are basically clay beads that are reusable. You just want to wash them off when you get them because they can have a lot of dust on them. But we're not filling them all the way up at this present time, but we'll go up about halfway. So this one will sit roughly, once it's all said and done, roughly about right there, which is fine. So we'll just hold that in place. Spill a few, you know, but you don't need to go all the way to the top because when they're sitting there like this, they're just going to end up falling out anyways. So if you want to top them off after the fact, that's fine. And then we're just going to go through and let's see here. We obviously want this one in there. Now this one I did differently. This is basically a peat moss pod. I actually prefer these other little like I'll see if I pull one out here. So I actually prefer these too when I'm doing the hydroponics, or I'll do my own little seed soil. These I was just trying to use up because they're basically inert. They don't have any nutrients to them. And so this one's not doing fantastic, but it will soon. It will soon. Thing we're gonna do probably is going to be the parsley and oregano because, you know, they're also going to grow kind of, you know, tall and bushy. So there's that, and then this one goes in right here. So you don't want to go straight from seed. You want to kind of have something a little bit more developed. So got this right here, and so basically, here, let me get this actually out of here. We're going to go ahead and kind of just get this plant out of here. Roots don't look like they're too crazy, which is good. We're going to actually get rid of most of this dirt as gently as possible. We don't want to hurt the poor little plants. So, like I said, just gently kind of move the dirt around, and then we'll come over here to this water. And you don't have to get it all out. I mean, see that right there? That will do. And so we'll set this right there. And then we'll come and grab this. I'm thinking about that height right there should be fine. And then we can go, we can put this right there. And then we're going to want to kind of, you know, fill it in, but be gentle. You can hurt things, so don't just, I mean, I just dropped them in there, but, you know, just be gentle with it. And just like that, there she is. So, just like that, boom. Oop, dropped one. And then we'll come over here, and let's see here, I think, what was this? This was a green bean. So we'll pop this in. Boom. Just like that. Just like that. Looks better already. And I got one more to replace right here because I feel like the beans, they're just not meant to be right there. I mean, it's just, yeah. So, next one. So let's see how the time is. So this is gold lemon time. So this, okay, so the roots are a little bit more developed on this one. So that's going to make things just a little bit more challenging, but not too bad. Hang on, you're looking at, there we go. Okay. This one might go into the water just a little bit sooner. It's got a bit of a root ball to it. So it's actually got a nice, you can see where it started right here, and then it was transplanted into a bigger deal. But yeah, you can see that how it's tighter right here. This is like, looks like it's actually like those same things that I was using, that I use. So that's good. But we're gonna try to get some of this stuff out of here because we don't need it where we're going. It doesn't need moisture or drainage retention because it's gonna drain like crazy. Okay, so that's that. And let's go ahead and put this thing here. I'm gonna raise you up. There we go. So go in here. Let's see, how's that look? Nah. Yeah, I think that's gonna have to do right there. Yep. Now, I know this works already, so I'm not worried. It's a method that has been going for a while now. Some call it ebb and flow. It's not really though. It's more of like it rains it down. It's not like pumping it in and then letting it drain away. So I mean, and then we'll just slide this one down up in here like that. And just like that, get that off of you. You don't need to be on there. And there we go. Look at that. 2 beautiful plants ready to go. And we still have some seeds right here. We'll have our parsley come up. So the parsley and the oregano. So if you're deciding to go based on seeds, you should know that the size of the seed is going to dictate the depth at which it is. So if it's like a really, really, really tiny seed, it's basically going to go on the surface. If it's a, about like that, you can expect about 1/4 of an inch, to 1/2 an inch, depending on, whatever. So if it's like an 1/8, it would be 1/4, double the size. And so the beans, they're obviously, they're like this big, so you can go 1 inch deep on those typically. But so yeah, there you go. Yeah, full on tower. Now, like I said, these will take some time to do their thing. They are light germinated. Okay, and just like that, we have our tower hydroponics, and we just try to let time do its thing. Natural light will come in and rain down on this and cause everything to grow as it floods this area with water every 10 minutes, or 10 minutes every hour. So only thing you got to do is just top that off, periodically. Yeah, there we go. Get that. It wasn't all the way seated. There we go. Now it is. And yeah, there we go. I mean, really easy. The long part is printing each one of these parts right here. But if you know somebody that has it, you can give them the file and have them, make all of this for you. The widest thing, I believe, will be the base down there. But yeah, that's gonna do it. So I'll see all y'all on the next video. Thanks for watching.